as I was saying, Joy Taylor, every dog has its day. And since I'm a big dog, I've got 2 days.
Okay.
So now.
You just called yourself a dog?
Yeah, I'm a dog. Yeah, I'm a big dog, a big one.
Kevin Durant is 6'11", who can pull up from 40.
Okay.
This brother is on that level. I'm talking about offensively.
Do you think you're better than Darrelle Revis is right now?
I'm better than you.
Welcome back to the Lowdown Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Mark Brown. As always, I got a very special guest today. Remember, I was talking about the NFL draft the other day, but I got even a bigger episode today because I actually have a current NFL player on the show. His name is Jordan Brailford. He is an outside linebacker for the Washington Redskins. He was drafted the 7th round last year, and he missed this past season due to injury, but he's back in action. They have new coaches, new beginnings. Jordan, welcome to the show.
Hey, Mark, thanks for having me.
Hey, anytime, Jordan. I understand you came from Oklahoma State, so, go Pokes all the way, right? So coming out of Oklahoma State, exactly. I remember you had a spectacular redshirt junior season. You led the Big 12 with sacks, averaging nearly 1 sack a game, which is incredible, and that really boosted your draft, your draft queue. And here you are today, getting ready for another season, new coaches. So how does it feel? How did it feel going through that experience, going through the comics? I know you participated in the NFL Combine last year, and you ran a 4.65 40-yard dash, and that's real fast for a pass rusher / linebacker. So how did it feel going through that whole entire process leading to the draft last year?
It was a blessing, man. I tried to enjoy it every minute of it I could, just to see how the hard work I put in throughout all my time at OSU pay off for me. Really just was overwhelming for me.
Oh, yeah, I bet it was, man. But that hard work definitely paid off, and now here you are in the NFL, an official professional linebacker. And, just going through that process, 'cause I know you were invited to the Combine. And then, so what was it like from once you finished the Combine? So you kept I assume that you kept working out from then till the draft. So how did it feel knowing that you participated in the Combine? Not only participated, but put up some great numbers for scouts to evaluate that beforehand.
It was good, but it definitely wasn't just, it wasn't what I expected to do, and it was just really hard for me to really just sit around. So really, as soon as the draft was over, I probably went home for about a week, maybe 2, before I went back to Florida and started training again. Before I could report for OTAs a month later. So it was just really hard for me to keep still, man. I just had to keep getting better anytime I could.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Especially, that's another thing I was wondering, because the fact that you said you took a week off, that's crucial right there. So did they have So OTA is shortly after the draft, right? So how long of a break do y'all have from the actual draft to OTAs and everything?
I think it was about a month, I think.
Oh, okay.
Mistaken.
Okay, so that means that was longer than I expected. But still, that probably went by fast, too, because I know that's like a surreal feeling for you. I mean, you represent Tulsa, Oklahoma, came from Booker T, Washington, and here you are in the league. And as a matter of fact, it was not just you that came out of Booker T that got drafted, also Justice Hill as well. So both of y'all came from the same high school. I think y'all are a couple years apart, so that's also incredible to know you guys represent the 918 all the way in the league, man. That's really a good thing right there. It's just good to hear that. And to see when you arrived at OTA and when you got drafted, so – I assume you were with – this is probably stupid, but I assume that you were with your family and everything. So, explain how that experience went when you finally got selected by the Redskins. How did it feel? What was that feeling going through your entire mind and seeing just your family and friends with you at the time? How did it feel just going through that entire process, knowing that you got drafted?
It was crazy, man, because, I got picked near the end of the 7th round, so I actually had all my family over, cousins, grandma, granddad, everybody. I thought I wasn't going to get drafted near the end. My agent was actually on the phone with New York, and they were about to finalize the deal to have me come in have me sign with them. But as soon as I got on the phone with him, I got a call from the Redskins while I was on the phone with him. They said they was picking me up and drafting me, so it was just crazy experience, man. A lot of emotions that day.
Oh, man, I can't imagine, man. I can't imagine how, it feels to be in a situation like that. I mean, especially knowing you put forth all that work because, knowing that you were injured this past season and you also went through that. So it wasn't your first rodeo because you were injured. You missed the 2016 season, as a matter of fact, at Oklahoma State. and which gave you a hardship waiver and then allowed you to play, because you were actually a junior. You were considered a junior during the 2018 season, meaning that you could have returned for your senior year, but you decided to, move on knowing that you had some, ridiculous stats out there. So knowing that happened, I mean, shoot, I would have done the same thing, man. Putting up stats like that, I might as well go straight to the league too. I mean, I don't blame you at all. I mean, plus, I don't blame you one bit. And plus, you became – see, that season alone in 2018 made you one of the most productive defensive linemen of the Mike Gundy era, and he's been coaching since 2005. So knowing that you're on that list, man, that means a lot. And the fact that you made it this far is even better, and you're just getting started in the league because – and speaking of that, I noticed, like, with the Redskins, when you came in, they had a different coaching staff, and now you guys have a new head coach. You got Ron Rivera, new staff. So how does it feel leading into, obviously the draft's going to happen this week, and then going from there to, training camp and everything. So how does it feel knowing you guys have a new coach and, in that process? How's that going?
I mean, it's going as good as it can, with the COVID-19 going around and everything. So, pretty limited contact with new coaching staff so far. I had a couple of meetings with them, but, just trying to, right now, just not really able to get a good read just because we haven't been able to be in the building with each other that long. So really, right now, all I can really do is focus on getting myself better and prepared and seeing what this season holds whenever it gets started. So.
Yeah, and speaking of COVID-19, so how are y'all managing the workouts and stuff? Like, do you guys have to work out separately, and you can't work out in groups or any of your teammates or anything like that?
Oh, yeah, nah. So, league-wide, there's nobody working out at the facility. So,
so like, everything has to be – oh, keep going, my bad.
Yeah, everything is shut down right now. We use Zoom. We do some virtual meetings sometimes a week. We started our official off-season program last week. So, we do a couple meetings online, but that's about it as far as workouts and conditioning. You pretty much on your own right now, unless you have a facility that's still open, like outside, not a team facility, but a training facility that'll still open and operate with you. But yeah, a lot of guys out there on their own right now, training and getting ready as best as they can.
Yeah, I hear that. And plus, like, when there's a lot of facilities and gyms that are closed, so are y'all just doing at-home workouts or just working out, like, in personal garages or anything like that, or maybe a small facility where they just have limited amount of people? Like, how's that all panning out?
Could you repeat the question?
Yeah, I was going to ask, like, so I noticed that a lot of gyms around the country are closed, if not all of them, right? So how do you guys manage to, perform these workouts? Obviously, you have to do it separately, so do you guys just work out in your own personal garages or gyms or whatever you guys have?
Hell yeah. Some guys got their own weight room in their houses. Some guys just go buy some free weights and do what they can in garage. The biggest thing that I feel like is just, being able to get on the field, because at the end of the day, what I'm saying, there's not really much you can do not lifting without a gym, but you can always get some good field work in, especially right now. So,
yeah, exactly, man.
Well, I've been kind of focusing on.
Yeah, I don't blame you at all. So, like, obviously it's a big team. I already mentioned the new coaches and everything. So I always wanted to ask this. So how does it feel to be teammates with somebody like Adrian Peterson or even Josh Norman? How did it feel to be teammates with those guys?
Oh, yeah, it was cool, man. AP always every time first time meeting AP had a big old little thing of dip in his lip. Got his hair. And shook his hand, tried to break my damn hand, but yeah, he real cool. I got talk to him every so often. He's a good dude all around. So Josh Norman didn't really get enough good chance to talk to him as much, just because that man is always, getting he about his business. So he always making moves outside of football and getting his money right. So you know what I'm saying? Just two different type of guys, but both equally good football wise. Just talking to him when I can. So.
Yeah, I hear you, man. And plus, y'all have some young quarterbacks. I mean, you got Dwayne Haskins and Kyle Allen. Both of those guys are pretty young. So, like, I mean, it's a young core. I mean, there's a lot of young guys on the roster, including you. So I feel like it seems like there's a lot of media personnel, but obviously at the end of the day, you guys know more than that because you guys are on the team, obviously. But they're always talking about you guys are rebuilding. But it seems like you guys have a lot of potential, to compete in the NFC East this year, knowing that you guys have, young players like I mentioned, and then you possibly have some good draft picks coming in. So how are you guys feeling overall about the upcoming season?
Most definitely, I feel like we got a lot of loaded young talent. I think especially offensively, we got a lot of the young guys that stepped up at receiver. Dwayne started to catch his rhythm at the end. Guys on defense, Cole almost led. I think he might have led the league or was close to leading the league in tackles and middle linebackers. So, we just got a whole bunch of good, young, talented guys that if we just continue to stay healthy, develop guys, see how we can fit into this new defense, I think we got a good chance of making a run next year.
Oh, for sure, man. 'Cause that's another thing. Because y'all were the sleeper, man. Because like this past season, I feel like usually whenever a team doesn't do as well, the season beforehand, usually the next season, because every season is completely different, especially in the NFL, man. That's the thing about the NFL. It's professional, so anybody can get beaten on any given day. I mean, everybody's just as good as the other person next to them. So to see, knowing that you guys are coming in, because the NFC East, I feel like it's up for grabs at this point. It's up for grabs, and then to see you guys make a run will be pretty cool to see. Because a lot of fans are tired of, people are tired of seeing the Cowboys or the Eagles, bump heads here and there, and it's like they forgot about the Giants and the Redskins. But like you guys, I feel like you guys, both teams have a lot of young talent, so that entire division alone could be highly competitive this upcoming season. And so do they have? So I know you're an outside linebacker. Do they also have you as a pass rusher? Do you play both positions, or they have you strictly with just one position?
Well, I'm actually back to DN in this new defense. Going from a 3-4 to a 4-3. So.
Oh, I see right there. Okay, yeah, I see you right now. So it's you. So it's going to be a battle between you and Montez Sweat.
Like I said, man, we ain't really established it yet. How the defense is right now. It seems like there's no strong side in or weak side in. It's just kind of two just ends, and really, with the new coaches coming in, it seems like it'll just be wide open to see what happens to who the best player is, because they're bringing in some guys. They brought in some guys with them, at the position, and I'm pretty sure they'll draft some more guys and pick up some more younger guys. So it'll be a lot of competition in the room come OTAs or training camp whenever we actually do get started.
Yeah, exactly. And then, like you said, new coaches, new beginnings. And speaking of that, how does it feel? So knowing that you're in the league, how does the competition feel in the NFL compared to when you were at Oklahoma State competing?
Honestly, I can't really speak on that yet, just because, like I said, I got hurt right, 2 days before the very first preseason game. But, as far as training camp and OTAs goes, it really wasn't that much big of a difference, really. Talent was probably about the same. But, like I said, training camp and OTAs and game experience are two different things. So hopefully I'll be able to get a better answer to your question this year.
Oh, yeah. I got complete faith in you, man. I'm rooting for you because I remember those days, when I was at Oklahoma State a long time ago. So at the time, you were coming off an injury. So, you had your breakout season, your redshirt sophomore year, and then the rest is history. So you already know what it's like to compete. You already know what it's like to go through hardships and stuff like that. So this is nothing new to you. So that's basically God telling you that, hey, he's gonna have you ready for this season. And who knows, man? Shoot, you might have you might be out there next thing you know, you might become a superstar real quick.
Man, you never know, man. All I can do is work as hard as I can, man. Keep God first.
Yeah, man, that's the best. That's the most humble answer right there, man. You just got to take it one day at a time. And like I said, you've already gone through this before, so it's nothing new. Just keep your head straight, and I'm just glad knowing that you went through all this and then you kept going. Now that you're in the league, I'm pretty sure Mike Gundy, everybody, your whole family, all your friends, your teammates, they're all proud of you, man. So the sky's the limit, and that brings me to this question. So, what are your biggest expectations leading into camp? Because it might be different because, there's probably no – they're still talking about the NFL, how you guys haven't really been affected by COVID-19 because, they don't start – the preseason don't start till August, so there's still plenty of time. But at the same time how do you guys think this will pan out? Because you have the virtual draft, which has never happened before until this point. So do they have any word on you guys, starting camp late, or there's no official decision yet?
Definitely no official decision. It's just day by day, playing it by ear. We get information as it comes in daily. So probably will be something that will get kind of settled the closer we get to the date. Right now, it's just everything is just up in the air, especially with everything going on around the country, and guys, still catching it. Hospitals still being filled up. So it's no telling when the season will start this year.
Yeah, exactly. And knowing that, we all heard about Von Miller catching it and another center from the LA Rams that caught the virus. So, anybody's capable of catching it. So it's just a matter of being safe. I'm glad that you're safe, man. So that's the thing about everybody. Everybody needs to make sure they stay safe, especially during this tumultuous time that's going on right now. But I guess on the other hand, does it mean, because when you went through last season when you got hurt, so did you get a chance to travel to every game, even though you missed the season due to injury?
No, I was able to go to the home games, but yeah, I wasn't about to buy a flight out to the away games. So.
Oh, for some reason, I always thought in the back of my mind, I always thought that they would, since you guys were in the league, I thought they would pay for flights even for people that were on injured reserve, but I guess it doesn't work that way.
No. It's 53. Only 53 travel.
Okay, that makes sense. That's similar to college. Like, there's only people that are on travel squad. Everybody else has to stay in, so that makes sense. Same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, man, like, that's another thing. Do you have any, let's see, like, what are some of your biggest takeaways that at this point, knowing that you overcame injury at multiple occasions in your past, recent past, as a matter of fact, what are your biggest takeaways, which led you to this point? Do you feel like you've made a lot of accomplishments, knowing that you did make a lot of accomplishments leading from high school all the way to, the present day to the pros? What were some of your biggest takeaways knowing that you're in the NFL?
Really, just all about finding a good system. It's easy to get distracted. Throughout college, and especially once you get your rookie season in the league, a lot more distractions kind of multiply. So it's just really good to find a routine. And I think I'm starting to find that now. And that's something that's always just been a big help for me, just being able to carve out time for myself to do what I need to do, on and off the field, and it shows in everything I do, especially with being hurt. I spend a lot of time rehab, take care of my body. I've had to change the way I eat and a lot of things that I have to do. It just takes a lot of scheduling and time management. So, for anything else, man, you just gotta be smart with your time and be purposeful in everything you do.
Yeah, exactly. And then I'm assuming that, so whenever you joined the team, it probably didn't take you as long to adjust to the new plays, a new form of offense or defense. So when it came to adjustments, did it take you long to get the plays down, or were you able to adjust, like, I would say, quickly?
Oh yeah, I think I was able to adjust pretty quickly. Like I said, I was last year playing outside linebacker. I only dropped in coverage probably 3 different coverage plays, and then the rest of the time I'm staying back trying to get to the quarterback. So that's what I do best. That's what I train the most on. So. It's not that big of an adjustment for me.
I've seen it happen before. I've seen you see. That's another thing. Like when you try to get to the quarterback, I've seen you. Like, I remember when you guys played this game. For some reason, this game is going to stay in my head for a long time. When you guys played against Texas, when they were number 6 in the nation in 2018, and you guys upset them at home. I remember you made some big hits you had 2 tackles for a loss. I remember that you had some big game tackles for a loss. Like when the game was when it boiled down to the most important point. And you were there to make those big plays. And I remember I saw that. I was like, wait a minute, that's Jordan right there. I remember looking at the TV. I was like, oh, shoot, that's Jordan. That's Jordan. So, like, man, that was incredible. That game, for some reason, it was like the fact that you guys beat them alone, knowing that they were in the top 10, shows that the Big 12 always competes. And shows how competitive you were, because that's the thing, man. I knew that from the get-go, because I remember going through spring ball 5 years back, and I remember how competitive you were, like, because you got a chance to actually, get some more reps in because you were coming off an injury. And I saw how competitive you were on defense. I'm like, man, once this dude starts playing, it's over. And then to see you do that year after year, year in and year out, shows that you're competitive, man. So, like, what motivates you the most when you're out at practice, especially at practice and when you're prepping for games and stuff like that? What motivates you the most?
Really, just kind of just that competitive edge. I've always felt, like you said, with all my injuries, throughout college and high school, I just always felt like I had a chip on my shoulder, seeing guys, ahead of me that I felt like I could be doing better than, and it just kind of really ate me up, I spent 2 years, playing in college football, not playing at all, missing the whole season, basically just, being a bodybuilder throughout my time. So it really pushed me to realize that whenever I get the chance to touch the field, I'm always going to give 100%. That's why you see anytime you watching a game that I played in, I'm always going to be running to the ball no matter what. I'm always going to be, I'm always giving it my all, man. I don't hold nothing back because I never know when my next snap is going to be my last. So that's how I look at it right now.
Oh, man, that's well said right there, man. Do you have any like additional information you'd like to add if I miss anything out?
No, I don't think so. I ain't got any other questions. I answered them all.
All right, I'll just ask a fun question. How about that? I'll just ask you a fun question real quick. So How do you feel? How do you feel about that Last Dance documentary with Michael Jordan so far?
You know, it was I mean, it was cool. You know what I'm saying? I got to see more of the dance before because he did when he went off on the Celtics for 63. It was 63, wasn't it?
Yeah, 63 points. Yep.
Yeah. I seen it. He was kind of just running around and jumping over everybody. With nobody really doing nothing to him. So I got to see how he played against Bad Boys and everybody else. I got to see them highlight tapes while I give my final review.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you. And plus, like, another thing, because that was back in 1986, man. The shoes he was wearing them Air Force Ones, and then I was like, I couldn't imagine wearing Air Jordans on a basketball court, man. That's got to be. I couldn't imagine this dude was cooking people up with those type of shoes on, and it seemed like I don't know how they did it, man. I don't know how he did it. And then that's another thing. I see a lot of arguments between LeBron and MJ, man. I just respect both those guys. Like, I'm not going to even try to lean towards the latter at this point. I'm just going to just watch just appreciate greatness, So it's like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because those dudes are representing for different eras. MJ represented for that era. LeBron obviously represented for this era. LeBron and Kobe did. So it's incredible to see that happen. And so do you have a favorite NBA team?
You said, do I what?
Do you have a favorite NBA team?
Well, yeah, KC Thunder, man. Oklahoma, what you mean?
Yeah, that's that. I was about to say, because, man, I'm glad you said it, because, man, the Thunder, that's the thing, man. That's why I'm so upset that it's just unfortunate how the NBA, it's not like, I don't know if they're canceled officially. They're still waiting on the word to see if they're going to come back, return late, but it doesn't seem like it's likely, but we just have to wait and see. But Oklahoma City was having a run. Like, they were actually going to have a playoff run. They were projected to play the Utah Jazz. They would have been playing each other right now. And that would have been a rematch from 2 years ago. Obviously, the roster is different now. You don't have Russ or PG anymore. But Chris Paul, man, that's the thing. Chris Paul definitely turned some heads in Oklahoma City. Like, he's in the bottom ladder of his career, and he's still showing these young guys that he still got it. So it's like, yeah, they were a sleeper, man. I did not expect them to be that good, but, like, especially this season, but they sure showed it, man. That's why I really wanted to see what Oklahoma City was capable of in the playoffs, but it doesn't look like that'll happen.
Oh, yeah. We definitely had a solid young team. Yeah, CP3, we had a good chance. Well, we had, we was going to make a run,
I feel like this would have been a perfect time for them to make, because remember they had 3 first-round exits. They lost, last year. That was terrible, man. Just seeing Damian Lillard just hit that logo buzzer beater 3. Whoo, man.
Yeah, that was nice.
Oh, man. That happened, and then the year prior to that, we saw PG get cooked up by a 6-man with Utah. That was Joe Ingles, man, just getting in his head. And Melo just couldn't really produce like people wanted him to. And the year before that, that was the first year with KD gone, so the roster was completely different. They had Victor Oladipo at the time, but they were all first-round exits. So it's like, dang, this year they would have broke that. They would have broke that curse.
Yeah, had a good chance to.
Yeah, exactly, man. But obviously, since you're in the NFL, Redskins, I'm going to say that, so no need to bring all that up. But how did you feel? This is another thing. How did you feel about Mike Gundy keeping that mullet haircut? I forgot to ask that earlier, but how did you feel about that? How he kept his hairstyle and everything.
Hey, man, as long as he still got it, he can do what he wants with it, because he ain't going to have it forever, so.
But, yeah, this will be my last question to ask. So, have you been keeping in great contact with some of your former teammates at Oklahoma State?
Oh, yeah. I've talked to a bunch of guys. E-Man and Vincent, I train with them in the off-season, usually in Florida. And, there's just a lot of guys I talk to on the phone. Josh. You remember Josh, Some other guys. Justin Phillips, I still talk to him a lot. So, yeah, we keep in contact here and there.
Yeah, and it's just crazy how that much time passed, because I remember, at the time Josh. I remember him, definitely remember Jazzy. I remember Matthew Newsom too, but Newsom, I heard about Newsom, like he left the team, I think, after the 2016 season, because I think it was Zach Steiner that told me that, the punter told me that he left shortly after that season ended. And but it's just crazy how it's been half a decade since that we all went through spring ball and all that whenever I was still there, and it was like we were all freshmen at the time, so that was pretty funny. And to see where everybody is at now, it shows you that not only Gundy, but just the entire staff, and especially Coach Glass, man. A lot of credit goes to him, man. Like, they call it Body Black Glass for a reason, man. He's arguably the best strength conditioning coach that is out there.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. It's a special thing going on at LSU, that camaraderie, that brotherhood. something, just don't find everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like that's been part of the heritage for a long time. 'Cause my dad used to play at Oklahoma State over 30 years ago with Barry Sanders and Thurman Thomas and all those guys. So it's like, and they all still talk to each other. I'm like, man, they're in their 50s now, and they still talk to each other like they were still in college like a day ago.
Yeah. College where you meet your best friend, and when you hang out with 100 other potential best friends every day for a couple of years, you tend to make some lifelong bonds.
Yeah, man, those are some strong words right there. But I know you're on the time crunch, man. That was a lot of fun having you on, and then hopefully I can get you on towards the end of the season. Then we can just recap how you did. Depending on how the performance went, we can just recap on how you did. That'll be a lot of fun, to do like a follow up.
Oh yeah, sounds like a plan.
Hey man, it was a pleasure having you on the show, Jordan. Man, I wish you best of luck, man. I hope you stay safe out there, and I'll be rooting for you.
I really appreciate it, Mike.